The reason why this started happening is because we was purposely isolated. It was a group of Indians during the first beginning epoch after everybody left Atlantis. We started like rebuilding. It was a lot of people who lost their abilities to astral project and to go up into the higher realms, but not everybody did. A lot of people still had the ability to. But what wound up happening, you had a group of advanced, enlightened Indians, the real Indians of like Hindu religion and all that, that was kept reincarnating, and they knew how to cremate themselves so their reincarnations would be fast. So they was coming back within a lifetime, maybe 2 times, and writing these books. So they learned through enlightenment that by isolating themselves, they could quicken up the growth process. So a group of them separated themselves into deep India and actually caused a full disconnection of consciousness within themselves from the higher realms of the gods and everybody. And they was the one who was the seed of the next generations to come. Through the Indian Vedic philosophies and all their books, not the Rig Veda itself, that's the last of the actual books written on the subject that was deemed mythology. And that was done through channeling of the astral world. That's all real stuff. So when they started coming back out with the lower consciousness of man, we started falling into their oriental, they call it Institute or Theosophy of faith. And so we lost the ability now all the way to be conscious. They started spreading like a virus all over the world. And so the few that was still able to astral project and to go into the higher realms lost their ability, or they ran underground to remain hidden. This now is where you get your Jews from. The Jews was able to retain theirs because they had ties with Egypt and Akhenaten. Akhenaten passed off the science to them, but it wound up working against them because he had 2 groups of Jews, and one set pretended to be the real one and killed off the other one, and they wound up taking the place now and the science, renaming all the gods, renaming all the rituals, and wrote books on it. We talking about not the Zohar, but it's other books that predate the Zohar, that they have the real African truth in it. The Hebrew itself is an African religion. So is Latin is an African language. A lot of the stuff that they're telling us is not true. And I didn't know all of this until I started reading into how history was altered. So everything that I try to give y'all is just straight up. I don't try to use nobody's reference, because a lot of the books and a lot of the information that we're getting nowadays is false information, and we believe it to be true. We want explanation for things that can't be explained because the person who made it up was a lie in the first place. So this is where we have issues now, where you have people trying to explain things that cannot be explained because it was made up. So asking questions, why is this and why is that, trying to read some information that they made up and me now articulate on it back to you, that's a waste of brain power, time, and life, deciphering lies. You have to know off the gate that everything they just told you or they teaching you is a lie, and to go really seek the truth. Anything that they give you is a lie. Now, I also wanted to make sure that you understand the importance of this astral world and me telling you all this stuff about astral projection, because it has a very, 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 very deep significance. I can't define all the parts to it of a significance, but let me give you an example. When you watch stuff like Dragon Ball Z, that's the whole world of the astral world. Everything in there. You see, what's his name? The one who looked like the dog, the Egyptian dog. I don't know them, and I haven't watched the series, but I peeped it out and I was like amazed, because it's the whole astral world. Each level of how they turn Super Saiyan, it's the different levels of yourself. And it's not just that. I watch all them shows, Yu-Gi-Oh, all them things. I don't watch them, but I peeped out what's going on. All of them is a reference to the astral world. So you got to realize it's another world that you know nothing about, that they're using against you. And that's in your mind and inside of you. It's still you, but you don't know that part of you exists. And so they actually go inside of there and they actually show you what's going on and make these movies and TV shows about it. But definitely Dragon Ball Z. Let me see, all the movies and cartoons, every single cartoon is real. It's not, there's no such thing as a cartoon. They're more realer than the shows. You see, those people that's cartoons was here before you. You was in a cartoon form prior to you having this physical form. So when you see people like Walt Disney, who made a Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck and all these characters, they didn't make them up. If you look up in the clouds, you're going to see everything ascended up and moved up a level. They never left. And only people or certain people could interact with them, or they give these information to certain people who have perception of them. It's like, if you don't recognize it, they're not going to come to you. If you don't understand them, you won't see it. You could be seeing something every day in front of you and don't know it's there until somebody say, look, this is what it is. Then all of a sudden you see it, and it's always been there. But that thing that nobody saw is going to be happy that somebody recognized it, because it's the same as the law of attraction, observation. When you observe something, it comes to life. So you could be in the astral world running around all the time, seeing a million things and didn't know they was there, and they had no effect on you. But as soon as you observe them and you start seeing them and you notice what they are, now they have an effect on you. So you have to be able to understand this, that it's different levels to perception and understanding. And once you be able to unite the two as one, you'll be able to see more and do more. This now leads to will, where you're able to will everything into existence. I learned it through the Tetragrammaton. I don't know, it sounds kind of crazy, but I learned the system reading this book one time, and it tell you about the Yahe Vahe. You know, it's like, it's the four elements, earth, air, fire, water, and you will everything into existence. So by you able to understand that everything starts off as a thought and it's a cloud, and then you make it calcify in the fire, your passion and desire, and then it starts to become a smoke image that you can literally see and touch. Then it cools down in the water and it becomes calcified into almost a physical, and then last it becomes your will that makes it happen and real and align yourself, which now makes the thing real. So that's really the Tetragrammaton, the Yahe Vahe. So you understand that I started practicing that in the mind, and a lot of things happened for me, and I was able to not just will and do those things. I was able to get what's called the black germ. I used to first call it the cube, and it's the Kaaba too that you see that you pray to, but it's also what I learned is the black germ. This is who we are. That's our spirit. And our true spirit is just a little black square. You see it in my eyes in some of the videos. That's the spirit. It only comes up for one thing at the end of your life, but it's always with you, you know. This video is getting long again. Let me cut it short.